Everybody wants to be in a relationship that is healthy, happy, and long-lasting. It doesn't matter if your relationship is with friends, family, with your colleagues at work, or a group of friends from school. What matters is that you want a relationship that you can be proud of and a relationship that is going to last for life. We successfully laid the correct foundation for building balance in relationships, which is communication. Lay the correct foundation of communication, have a success rate of 50%. But communication alone cannot carry the relationship very far. Let's be honest, a foundation is not a complete house. You would need additional materials and building blocks to make the house fit and accommodating for people who want to stay in it. And that is the same thing that you would need for your relationship. These building blocks are 3 in number: trust, respect, and flexibility. Hey guys, welcome to Edarton's Golden Treasures, your one-stop for insights on personal growth and the exploration of self-mastery. Here, we are all about growing together, and there is always something new to learn. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I want you to smash that subscribe button, like this video, and share, because you're going to be learning so many things today. I want you to find somewhere comfortable to sit, grab a snack and a drink, and then you could invite one of your friends to watch alongside you. Trust, the cement of balanced relationships. Trust is like a cement, and when the cement you use for building your relationship is strong, you would have nothing to worry about. It means you can do things without thinking about what will happen next. And this is because you are sure that the quality can withstand rain, it can withstand earthquake, and any other natural disaster. When you're in a relationship where trust is present, the people in that relationship can relax, knowing fully well that the other party will do what they said they will do. Even if there is a case for doubt, the trust will prevail, meaning they'll be like, don't worry about it. He's going to keep to his word. I trust him. But when trust is weak, everything in the relationship will be a doubtful situation. And this means that you can't trust anything. If there is a small or slight challenge, it will look as if the relationship is coming to an end. Every word will sound like a lie. Every sentence will have to pass through inspection and investigation. Every promise will be taken with a pinch of salt. And should there be a slight delay, it will be as if the promises are going to fail. When you mention the name of somebody you're in relationship with and there is no trust present in that relationship, everybody will tell you, believe that person at your own risk. Building trust takes time, and you build trust by consistently doing what you said you will do and doing it in record time. Let me tell you of a time I worked in the marketing team, and this is about a couple of years ago. We had to trek for long hours and many kilometers. At the end of the month, we were expecting to be paid, but the manager of the marketing team came and was like, don't worry, your payment is going to come by next week, latest on Friday. We believed him, and we kept working. Guess what? Friday came and passed, and no payment. We're not paid, no information, nothing. We worked till the end of the next month before we were paid. Again, he came with promises. Don't worry, your payment for this month is going to come latest by Friday. We believed him again. It's just the second time. We had to give him the benefit of the doubt. And we kept working. Friday came and passed again. And we were like, okay, let's just be patient. We were patient again till the end of the 3rd month. This time he came and was like, guys, don't worry, I promise you, latest on Thursday, it won't even get to Friday. But you know what? He kept his promise. And we got our payment the next Monday. But at that time, nobody was interested in him any longer. Even though the payment came in, many of us resigned, including me. At that point, trust was already lost. For every relationship you find yourself, if you say you're going to call back, maybe you're busy, make sure after doing what you're doing, call back. If you say you're going to help, financially or otherwise, make sure you come through, and come through on time, not when the person has suffered a loss. If you make a promise and you beat your chest and say, I am going to do this for you, it is better you do that thing even if it kills you. there is nothing that kills trust faster than when you make a promise and at the end of it all, you fail to keep your promise. Little things matters. And this is because if you're somebody who has messed up and you promised to change, let people see that change in your actions. If they don't see that change, you risk losing trust. And this is very key, because a time will come when your apologies will sound like insults, because they know that this apology doesn't really matter to you. You're only saying it because you were caught. And the next moment, you will go back and do exactly what you promised not to do. Another aspect of trust you must learn to build is honesty when you mess things up. Own up to your mistakes. It doesn't take anything away from you. But it gets worse when you try to explain elaborately and get out of it. That lie is you setting yourself up. A lie might delay what is coming. But when the truth eventually comes out, it's going to sting so bad. This is the reason why you were told that the truth will always set you free. And it is important for you to note that it is better to say the truth the first time and accept that you made a mistake than to cover it up and then later try to explain your way out of it. During the holidays, I had a friend and she called me up one morning and told me I should accompany her to the market. She did not want to go alone. I didn't have anything I was doing and it seemed like it was going to be a fun activity. So I agreed. We went to the market and after window shopping for a while, we got to a particular store. So we greeted the woman. There were 2 kids in the store playing with toys. So the woman greeted us and was like, wow, welcome, how's your day been and all of that. And then she asked the lady I came with to please stay in the shop and with her kids, that she was going to go get something. So we stayed in the shop. There was a TV. We were watching TV while the children were playing. After a short while, the lady told me as she was coming, she quickly wanted to buy something from a store down the road. I was like, okay, go ahead, I'll be here, So 1 hour passed and I was like, what exactly are you buying down the road? I called her and she was like, be patient, I've not seen what I wanted to purchase. I was like, okay, take your time. I couldn't leave the kids in the store. I had to stay and babysit them. 3 hours later, my friend came back. When she came back, she was like, I walked around the entire market. I couldn't find what I was searching for. I was just looking at her. I allowed her to talk. She was giving excuses, explanation, cover-ups, lie after lie. When she was through, I then told her, are you through? Now tell me where you went. She was like, I told you I wanted to go and buy something now. That was when I told her, okay, fine. I'll wait here, and when your brother's wife returns from where she went, I will tell her that you went to see somebody and you didn't stay with the kids. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, the children told me that you're their auntie. So, how can you be their auntie and then you're telling me that you don't know them? At that point, she was shocked, surprised, and she started telling the truth. But you know what? It was already too late. Trust had died. You see, trust is very sensitive. It is just like glass. Once you break it, putting the pieces back together is going to be very difficult. And if you eventually succeed, it's going to take a very, very long time. Wrapping this up, I want you to know that it is better you are always trustworthy than to wait until you are embarrassed before you come out with the truth, especially in situations where you've messed up. Own up to it. Nobody is going to lay you down and flog you. They will only be happy that you actually respect them enough to tell them the truth. And this leads us to the next building material for a balanced relationship that is healthy, happy, and long-lasting, which is respect. Respect is the water that holds everything together. Respect is universal and reciprocal. This means that you either have respect or you don't have it. If you're building a house, you cannot just stack the blocks together without cement. And there's no way you are going to mix your cement without water. And you see that respect is what makes trust work. Respect is not about worshipping another person. And it is not about you laying on the ground for people to trample on you. Respect is not about you saying yes sir and yes ma every time and doing an eye service. Those things will only get you disrespected. Respect is very simple to understand. It insists that you see and treat other people as human beings with dignity. Respect is seen in what you say and the tone with which you say what you say. Respect is seen in what you do and the way you do the things that you do. There are many conditions for building respect in balanced relationships that will be happy, healthy, and long-lasting. I'm going to give you a few of them here, and I hope you take them to heart and you practice them. These conditions include the following, but not limited to: respect other people's opinions, especially when you do not agree with their opinions. People don't always see things the same way. I may see something from a position of 6 and you see that same thing from a position of 9. So let's say you have a friend and both of you love football so much. Your friend is a die-hard fan of Ronaldo and you think that Messi is the GOAT of football. When your friend comes around and gives you his opinion about Ronaldo, it is not wrong. He is only expressing his opinion, which you think is not the correct thing. And that is because you have somebody else who you believe in. While in that discussion, it is okay for you to counter and speak for or against, but it is not okay for you to insult his personality because of his opinions. Accept his opinions, state your own opinions, and agree to disagree. Don't call people foolish because they have different opinions from what you think. It is very disrespectful, and make sure it never happens to you. Whenever you realize that a discussion is going to the stage where you may likely say something you will regret, it's better to say, alright, what you have said is fine. The next condition is respect other people's time. And to do this, it means you don't have to come late all the time. Don't be the person that will delay people, and don't do things at the last minute. Remember that time is money and time is life. When you waste the time of other people, you are wasting their life. And that means if you take 10 minutes to delay me, you've wasted 10 minutes of my life. And that is 10 minutes that I'm not going to get back anymore. There was a man in my team at my previous place of work. He was always late whenever a meeting was called, virtual meetings, because we were working in different offices and we needed to collaborate virtually. Every time there was a call, we would have to actually call his phone so he can come online. Sometimes we'll have to call a team member because he was not picking up his call for him to come online. It got so bad that we would have to wait for him to join the meeting for 10 minutes. Sometimes we waited for 20 minutes. There was a day we had to wait for 30 minutes. And it was that day that the supervisor decided that, man, it was enough. No one should call him any longer. If he didn't see the meeting call, he would stay away. And it continued that way. Whenever there was a call, he wouldn't be aware, he wouldn't join the call, and vital information would be shared and he would miss out on it. Most of the time, because he missed out on such vital information, he wouldn't be able to perform his job better and he would get queried. The queries grew to letters of displeasure, the queries grew to sanctions. And while other people were getting promoted, were given bigger opportunities and responsibility to handle, he was always recommended to maintain status. He stayed in the same level for a very long time because he didn't respect other people's time. It looks like something small, we only waited for him for 30 minutes. But that is 30 minutes of our life that would never get back again. Because of this behavior, he didn't have access to promotion. He did not have the opportunity of living a better life. And nobody was ready to give him any opportunity or any responsibility because they did not trust in his ability to respect their time. If you don't respect people's time, people cannot entrust responsibilities into your hand. Another important condition you should keep to heart is respect other people's space. Now, let's say you really want to talk to somebody and you call the first time and the second time and they did not pick up. There is no use in calling over and over again. It is obvious that it is either that person is not with their phone or they are busy doing something. Your next option is to drop a text message explaining why you called, or thank God for social media, you can actually drop a voice note about why you called, and your text message would mention that such person should check their phones or should come online to see the message that you have dropped for them. The reverse is also the case, because you could also be busy or in a meeting where you can pick calls and someone is calling you over and over again. After the first and second ring, decline the call and send a message informing the person of how busy you are or that you are not in a place where you can pick a call. It is being respectful, and you don't lose out on the information that should have been passed across, because information can be very time sensitive. It may be something urgent, it might also be an emergency, and that will give you a way to actually know that this is what is being passed across to you, or this is the information you want to pass across to the other party. Don't visit a person's house, office, or business environment without informing them first. This is very important. When you just appear out of the blue and they just see you just come to their office or knock on their door or appear at their business place, you might eventually ruin their day because your appearance there is unwarranted. It is always best to place a call or send a text message seeking for approval. And when you have gotten that approval, especially if the timeline for your visit is not immediately, make sure that when you are stepping out of your house, you also do a follow-up call to say, should I still come? And make sure you get approval to come. In cases where you don't get an approval to come and you really have to go, don't go, because when you eventually get there, you might ruin the purpose for your visit. And this is especially for those people that are in the dating scene. Trust is going to be broken and communication is going to be affected. As a matter of fact, you might permanently ruin your relationship, be it with your friend or your colleague or your business partner. It looks like, oh, why shouldn't I go? I'm curious. I want to know what is going on. Yes, that's true. But not going will save you even much more. There are so many ways to find out what you need to know without going unannounced or visiting unannounced. On the flip case, respect also means you know when to leave. So let's say you visited a friend or a colleague, and then after a while they have another visitor and they begin to discuss something important. That is your cue to leave. Let's also say during your visit, your friend gets on a call, maybe a work call for example, and the discussion gets serious. That is your cue to leave. Another opportunity for you to leave is when you realize that your friend is probably getting uncomfortable or it is getting late. That is your cue to leave. It shows that you can read the situation and you value your relationship more than your need to be associated together or to be in that space, that personal space at that time. To give you another important example of respecting people's space, we've seen this happen again and again when children are in the parlor watching a movie or a cartoon on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, and then as an adult, because you want to watch football or you want to watch another station, you just come, pick up the remote and then change the channel. That is disrespectful, and this is something that needs to be addressed. Yes, you're an adult. Yes, you have the right to do certain things, but children are also human beings. They deserve respect. So let's say you want to watch football. It is best to take an excuse from the children and say, excuse me, Declan, or excuse me, Gloria, I want to watch football by 8 p.m. So I'll be changing the channel by 8 p.m. That shows that you respect other people's space. And it also gives the children the opportunity to respect you. As an adult, when you do these things, the children or these adolescents are watching you, and they will definitely emulate your behavior in future. So if you disrespect their space, they are going to go ahead and disrespect other people's space. But if you respect their space and respect them as a human being, then they will learn from you and you'll see them replicating the same behavior elsewhere outside later on in life. The next building material that you need for building a balanced relationship that is healthy, happy, and long-lasting is flexibility, which is the bamboo for building balanced relationships. Every building requires a very good structure. Now think of the bamboo for a minute. It is strong and it can bend without losing form. So when the rain comes and the storm hits, it will bend, and when the storm is over, it will return back to form. And this is the reason why it will bend, but it doesn't break easily. Bamboo is one of the favorite building materials for construction purposes because of these particular traits. You will find it when you want to build a house that has more than one story building, because it can withstand the weight of a layered foundation. One constant thing in life is change. Change can happen at your job, your family, your friendships, your school. Flexibility also shows up in relationships that is concerned with groups. So let's say you have a group of friends or a group of colleagues. Let's use friends for example. You have two groups of friends. The first group started their relationship while they were in the university, and after graduation they started meeting every Friday for drinks and to eat and catch up on each other's lives. But suddenly one of them got married and had to move to another town to be with her husband. And after a while, another person got promoted and transferred out of the country. And that was how one by one life began to test their relationship. But they refused to change. They wanted to always meet on Fridays, which was not possible any longer. And after a while, the friendship dissolved, the relationship dissolved. They couldn't continue because there is no way you're going to bring somebody from Canada back to come and attend a meeting or a hangout every Friday. It's not possible. Now, the second group of friends understood what flexibility was all about. They internalized it and they made it part of them. As life was changing for them, they were also adapting to the changes of life. And it meant that even though they couldn't meet again on Fridays, they learned how to meet on Saturdays. A few of them will meet on Saturday and call the rest to join via Zoom call or WhatsApp call. And then later they find out that, okay, it's not possible for us to even meet on Saturdays any longer. Let us select people who would rotate by calling everybody in the group every week, maybe once in a week during lunch break or in the evenings, because of different time zones. And this helped their relationships. They were able to celebrate graduations together, they were able to celebrate promotions together, childbirth, marriages, and so on and so forth. And that relationship still exists till this very moment. Everything I have said so far is required to have a healthy, happy, and balanced relationship. You must learn to build trust. You must learn to build respect. And you must learn to be flexible. This week, I want you to take this as an assignment. Look for anybody you're in relationship with and ask yourself this question. Am I building trust? Am I respectful? And am I flexible enough to sustain this relationship, to make it healthy, to make it happy, and for it to last a very long time? If you have watched this video until this very moment, I am glad. It means that you are actually learning something important that you can practice every day. So smash that subscribe button if you have not subscribed before. Like this video, and I would love to read and respond to your comments in the comment section. Let's engage. See you in the next video.